way things should be, and then you can generalize that. If you felt halfway through that, gee, well, this is lending itself to answering the second question too, then you can look into it, right? So don't feel pressure just because someone asks you to do something. Oftentimes, we're faced with dilemmas in practice that truly drive us to doing the research that can be answered with one study. And that's okay. So we sink our teeth into what we can, as long as it's the appropriate question to answer. And that's why I always emphasize and say that there always has to be a hypothesis that you're going to have to think about before you design anything. And think long and hard about it, asking colleagues if that's the way to do it, going to the literature, doing a survey across a larger section of your specialty. Nowadays, it's very easy to do those things through listservs and other means. All it takes is one electronic forum, send an email to everybody, and please just click on the link, and they'll answer the question to you. Say, oh God, yeah, the TKOs are very problematic. We noticed that this. So you can, if there's no literature that can help you, right? So you can say anecdotally, 90% of the people that answer the questions hate it. So then you can make that hypothesis on the basis of there's no literature to guide me. Anecdotally, or personal observation is such that TKOs are terrible. So then you can make a hypothesis to say, well, TKO does reduce the lifespan of an IV. And then you can design a study to prove it or disprove it.
Round of applause for Team 4. So just as a general comment, building on what Mahani said, so rather embarrassingly, the only project I've ever done research-wise that I haven't published has been my residency project, which was looking at changes in the rate of empyemas following the introduction of the pneumococcal vaccine in Manitoba. And part of the reason I was never able to publish it is that I set about trying to answer too many questions. Try to answer too many questions without the necessary data or variables to answer any of them well. So there is a danger whenever you're designing a study in terms of underreach, overreach, or the design and the data capture not really matching the goal that you want. And it's very easy for me to sit here and nitpick on designs from an outside perspective, but a lot of that comes from having had to think through a number of studies and having to face Dr. Crockett at second meetings. It wouldn't hurt liking to remind me that I still haven't published that particular project. And the lesson from that is really the hypothesis is key, because without a clear hypothesis, nothing else can follow. And with a clear hypothesis, then that's really where you can start to really flesh it out. So going forward, whenever you're doing projects like this, because as you can see, some of these questions are really, really difficult to articulate and to answer. And different study designs are difficult to implement. Mixed methods is a whole complexity compared to an RCT on face value. When you then think about an RCT and think about all the little things you have to control, that's even sometimes harder than a mixed method one where you have maybe a little bit more flexibility in your inherent design. So really I would challenge everyone here when thinking of your research project, really spend as much time as possible on that hypothesis, because if it's well designed, the rest of it will follow.
And you know what, and it's not uncommon for even a well-established person who's done research for years to be ambitious and to formulate a hypothesis that is not achievable. Okay, so I had 5 people sitting, because before you do something, we have the luxury being in a place with a critical mass, and this is, I know you guys have talked about this in your own project, looking at the research aspects or the academic aspects of pediatrician's life. I don't care if you're at Sick Kids or if you're in, whatever, but St. John's, for small sector, right? It doesn't matter. To me, you can do outstanding work wherever you are, as long as you have around you small critical mass of people that could help you, and you can have them as a sounding board. I sat in front of groups of people just to talk about, so you kind of give them an update on what you've done, but then I always make a point at the end to propose what my next steps are going to be, and I put a hypothesis on. I never, ever put a presentation like that where I ended up with doing the hypothesis I proposed at the end of my talk as my next step. Never have I done that. It's always been revised by these people saying, hey, stop. Now, there's 5 different hypotheses in what you said. And because people see it. But we tend to be ambitious, we want to do everything in a day, and you can't. So make the hypothesis, read it once, twice, 3 times, many times, put it aside, come back to it. But even better, and the best way to do it is actually bring it to a colleague or colleagues and say, can I talk to you guys about this? Because we may not see what other people see. And it's always wonderful when you have a critical mass of people around you where you can sit and talk to them and say, hey, I'm proposing to do this. And I think, like I said, I've never been smart enough to propose something to people that said, oh, this is good, go ahead and do it. It's always saying, no, gotta break it down into things. And I know for a fact that had I tried to do it that way, I would have ended up doing nothing. Because it is difficult. So don't shy away from sharing your thoughts with others, vetting things through senior colleagues and mentors, but even just peers. Because definitely people will see things that you may not have been able to see.
So,
Thank you.
good job, everyone. And now, I guess,
Yeah.
Dr. Mahadi and I have to
Deliberation time.
deliberate.